Welcome to Mindfulness Lists. War is a Mindset is the name of the next section of A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. So it says at the starting of this section, in certain cases you may need to protect yourself or someone else from being harmed by another, but be aware of making it your mission to eradicate evil, as you are likely to turn into the very thing that you are fighting against. In my experience with war or fighting, I think my opinion is that if you can't explain something without being verbally abusive, you need to work on yourself. And if you have to be physical in order to get your point across, you have to be physically abusive, you definitely need to work on yourself as well. If you go from direct experience, you look at what war has achieved and left behind in the past. War has never ended war. I don't like to get too religious, but there's a saying in Buddhist philosophy, and it goes, hatred never ceases through hatred, but by love alone is healed. I've never been in a war. I've known my mom's brother and my dad were in the Vietnam War. My dad wasn't really affected about it. I think my dad was already a little bit, a few sandwiches short of a picnic like we all are before the war. So, but in my uncle's case, my mom's brother, it did affect him really bad. From what I heard, he was a pretty high decorated Marine, and he definitely killed people. And I think the problem with the way that they train the warriors and the soldiers is that they teach them how to kill, but they don't teach them how to deal with the aftermath. And nor do I think the governments care about the soldiers after they're done with their jobs. And you see this. You see a lot of people go to war and they expect something out of it. They're looking for a career. They're looking for a way to get through college. And a lot of them, it doesn't end up up well for. On the other hand, I don't know. I just really can't see the upside of it. I definitely think that there is a need for military, and I think there are a need for police as well. I just don't have the answer for it, and that's a solution that someone else who knows more about the government and knows more about military, that type of person would answer. But I think that just if you look at the past and you look at what wars have done, war has never stopped war. So that's kind of a good determining factor there. Is one more war going to stop all wars? Is it worth killing people over, killing men over, killing women over, killing children over? Is it going to stop? It's this endless circle of perpetration and retribution, as Eckhart Tolle would say. It's just this, it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. Let me read some of the stuff that Eckhart Tolle says. Whatever you fight, you strengthen, and what you resist persists. You could see that. You could see that happening. I see that just not that it's a war, but with my child, when I give resistance against her, it just energizes the situation, and with other people as well. Rather than saying, you know what, I'm okay with that. You can accept things and you don't have to agree with them, but you can accept it. You can just try to make your best choice of it, the best choice that you can make, possibly. Maybe sometimes the path of least resistance is good. And sometimes you got to make a stand. You got to stand up for yourself. You got to stand up for the ones that you love. But I am definitely not for verbal or physical abuse. So if something can't be discussed, then I'm not really having part of it. I'm not willing to punch anybody, hurt anybody, or yell at anybody. Nothing is worth it. If someone's that serious about something to where they need to yell or hurt somebody, then they could have their way, in my opinion. I'm okay with that. I'm not some tough guy, and I'm not into yelling on the top of my lungs. I don't think it achieves anything. So in the book, it says, these days you frequently hear the expression. These days you frequently hear the expression, the war against this or that. And whenever I hear it, I know that it's condemned for failure. There's the war against drugs, the war against crime, the war against terrorism, the war against cancer, the war against poverty, and so on. For example, despite the war against crime and drugs, there's been a dramatic increase in crime and drug-related offenses in the past 25 years. Anyways, you get the picture. And I think for some things you just need to, you don't need to think it out too much, go with the feeling in your chest, it's good for, the brain is good for, thinking about different outcomes, trying to project into the future, make the best choices you can. Thinking is good for that. You just, you look at the past and you see what's gone down, and then you project to the future and you try to make the best choice you can. And sometimes things get really confusing. And during those times, you might just go with your instinct. Just go right to the feeling in your gut. You have a big decision to make and you don't know what to do. Just take your time and go to the feeling in your stomach. Maybe if you have an uneasy feeling, you shouldn't be doing it, or, you shouldn't be going into that business deal, or you shouldn't be dating that person, or you shouldn't be going out that night. And if it's a good, nice, easy feeling, you should probably go for it, Just follow your nose. It always knows. So at the end of this section, it says some really beautiful stuff. Let me read this. Nobody's wrong. It's the ego in someone. That's all. Compassion arises when you recognize that all are suffering from the same sickness of the mind, some more acutely than others. You do not fuel the drama anymore that's part of all egoic relationships. What is fuel? Reactivity. The ego thrives on it. Remember that. What is fuel? Reactivity. That's what the ego thrives on. Just, what are we doing? What's going on here? It just gets inflamed, reacting instead of maybe acting, or maybe not acting, just letting it be. It's some great stuff. I hope that you guys enjoy it as much as I do. I hope that you're in great health and you're doing wonderful, whoever and wherever you are. I'll see you next time. Time is an angel or devil, best friend or worst enemy, great joy, harsh wrath,